laser pointer, because I'm not good with type. Hello, I'm Robyn. I'm the new level 7 apprentice in Aerial Survey. I do the Reconnaissance for the North. I'm sort of the other half of Damien. And I've been in the post since last May, so not that long. Please be kind. I'm still getting to grips with aerial archaeology, very new to it, so yes. I'm just going to basically give a really overly enthusiastic look at what it's like to start out in reconnaissance, sort of some of the things I've learned and experienced, and there's loads of pictures in there, because, of course, I'm like, oh, look at my stuff. So, and toward the end I'll sort of cover the masters that I'm doing as well alongside, which I'm about ready to start back up again. I've had a nice summer off, so yes, enjoying no assignments while it lasts. Okay, so just because I've not met pretty much most of you, I'll just give you a little bit about me. Got an archaeology degree from Chester and graduated in 2021, so it feels like a long time ago now, but not that long ago. Came away from uni, I worked for a little bit for a local heritage company in Chester, doing a bit of research for a new museum they were doing. Managed to get a picture of me and my classmates in the museum immortalised forever, which is quite nice. Then I did a little bit of geophys, which was really fun. Learned how to ride a quad bike, so that was great. And then it was quite hard being away from home, which is why I didn't really want to go into commercial as well. So moved back home, and there's not many archaeology jobs sort of around North Yorkshire area really, which is where I'm from. So I ended up working as a photographer for an antique auction house for a little while, which was really good, really good fun actually. But I really missed archaeology, so when this job came up, I really leapt at the opportunity, something I never really thought of or knew even existed as a job. But yeah, it's been the best thing ever. So when I started out, it was around, June was probably when I fully got cracking on. For the first month, I spent the time learning how to fly a plane. I had to complete a flying plane course, so learning how to land the plane and maneuver it in the air. I'd never been in a small plane before, and within 3 weeks I knew how to land it, so I was pretty impressed with myself. It was still quite terrifying. So yeah, that really helped, because when I actually came to learning how to do the reconnaissance side of the job, I was a lot more comfortable being in the plane. It wasn't such a terrifying thought, although opening the window for the first few times was a little bit scary. You kind of feel like you're going to get sucked out, so that was fun. And then sort of did quite a lot of training in the first few months with Damien. Really good, came up to York, and we did a lot of stuff in the office, and did a few training flights as well. So learning how to take the photos, different settings to use on the cameras, how to even just hold the camera in the plane. That's something I've not actually done, thinking about it, sitting down taking photos. It's quite a strange thing to do. I'm thinking about control points in the photographs for the mapping side as well. On top of that, there's learning how to sort of position the plane for the photographs. I think this was the thing I found really difficult, because every time I was going up in the plane, the weather conditions were different, the wind speed was different. I might have had a different pilot who flew in a slightly different way, so learning how to communicate with different people and learning what worked for the photos as well, while still learning to do taking the photos as well. So it was a lot all at once. And then actually before even getting up in the air, organising flights as well. There's a heck of a lot of variables that makes a successful flight. Making sure all my equipment's charged, there's a lot of stuff to take. I have a suitcase that I take with me, and a backpack. And food, I must take food. Making sure my pilots, there's a pilot free, they're all very busy with Jet2 and whoever they work for, so working around their schedules as well. Weather, of course, it's been real fun this year. crop conditions in summer, and yeah, airspace regulations and restrictions as well. So lots and lots of things to think about to begin with. But I think by the middle of June I was on my own. So yeah, pretty quick getting there. But yeah, all good fun. So when I first started, it was the proper start of the crop mark season, and I kind of covered crop marks a little bit at university, but not in such detail that I knew how they were formed really. I kind of knew the very, very basics, but I didn't really know all the variables that went into it. So thinking about soils, geology, even just where the different soils are in the UK, how this affects different types of crops as well, the crop cycles in themselves, the soil moisture deficit data that we get as well. There was a lot to learn on that side as well. So yeah, heck of a lot going on all at once. I think we got there. We got some nice new sites. This was one of the first flights that I did with Damien actually. It was one of the training flights. And this is just a nice bit of ladder settlement in the Yorkshire Wolds, bit of classic archaeology. This was something I'd actually never come across before photographing it, so looking up lots and lots of new information about lots of different types of archaeology as well. It's definitely a constant learning process. I think every time I go out, I find something new or something slightly different. So yeah, lots of insights. This is quite a well-known site in North Yorkshire. It's an Iron Age quadruple ditch enclosure. There's a few little roundhouses you can spot in there as well. I think this is probably the most impressive one. That's why I put it in from last year. Wasn't a stomaching crop marks even last year. Not that I know, because it was my first one, so everything was amazing. But yeah, this is probably the best one that I took last year. So I thought I'd put a nice picture of that one in there. And then, of course, this was my first full crop mark season, so seeing how the crops change appearance as well. This is something else to consider for different types of crops as well. And this was something I'd never seen before in aerial photographs, this sort of windblown effect. This was down in the Lincolnshire Fens. This was just a small section of quite a large area of Roman activity. And I was really, I don't know, I found it quite cool how even just the taller crops have been blown over by, we've had a really windy week of weather. Just how crisp the crop marks were showing, so I thought that was quite cool as well. So yeah, so once we're sort of coming to the end of crop marks, sort of transitioning into looking at different sites and moving on to parks and gardens for some of our other teams at Historic England. Completely different crop marks, so this was again a whole new thing to learn. Approaching them in a very, very different way to crop marks as quite large landscapes, lots of little features, but thinking about how they relate to one another as well, quite an important thing. And also thinking about condition monitoring as well, so this is one I took. Was it this year? Yeah, it was this year. Brocklesby Park, Grade 1 Registered Park and Garden. I think this is in North Lincolnshire. And yeah, just capturing little things, little changes that are going on, which are really useful for our heritage team. So I've just popped sort of a typical survey that I might do, not all the photos because we'll be here forever, but sort of, I quite like to start large, think big and then go small. So this gives me time as well going around the exterior of the park to find all the little hidden features, because there's so many, like there might be little boat houses tucked away and little statues and obelisks and all sorts of bits and bobs. So this is quite nice because our teams can use it to sort of see how the integrity of the sort of form and design of the park is being kept. You can sort of see the boundaries with the tree belts. So that's quite nice. Just another photo. This is Bursley Park. Let's say, just go back a sec. Bursley Park, a Grade 2 Registered Park and Garden, and this is in South. I think it's in Leicestershire. This one, yeah. So this is just another view. These are quite good for getting the sort of vistas that you can see, especially coming outward from the main house, and sort of picking up the relationships between other features within the park and garden as well. And then getting some nice close-ups of some of the smaller features, although this is quite a large walled garden. This is still Burghley House, this is the kitchen gardens. And these are really great for our other teams, just to sort of give them an idea of condition and how it's being used as well. We quite often get transformed into camping places and all sorts of things. Another one of Burghley House, I put this one in because it's quite pretty. It's quite a nice one, and it's quite nice to see the design of the front garden as well, and sort of how it complements the design of the house. I think this is a capability brown landscape, quite famous. But there's a lot of other features you can pick as well. There's the sort of the ha-ha at the top, and the sort of the wilderness area as well down at the bottom. Oh, of course, the stonking lake, you can't miss that. A slightly different one, this is Exton Park, still in Leicestershire, and it's grade 2 registered park and garden. And I just put this one in, it's quite nice to see sort of the views from the house, so you can see the relationship between the main house and all of these little features. And there's actually a little scheduled monument, it's just a ruined manor down in the trees there that's quite hidden away. And I think this is quite nice because you can sort of see how they've purposely planted trees to hide away what they think is something not very nice to look at from the house, just to hide it away. That's quite nice as well. So coming sort of into the deep dark depths of winter, moving on to earthworks, which I think are my favourite actually, because they're always in quite dramatic landscapes. So moving into a different season, I think there's quite a lot of other things to get used to as well. Going to quite a lot of different topographic locations, so a lot more upland landscapes, lots of different types of archaeology again, lots of different condition issues to think about as well, which was something I had to learn to look out for. I think this is quite a nice one. You can just see on the right hand side there's a little bit of erosion just coming from where the sheep pastures. Well, the sheep feeders have been placed, and it's just capturing little things like this to help monitor for the heritage at risk. Sure, there's something else I can say for this one as well. Oh, very cold in winter. That was something else I had to get used to as well. I still need to buy some gloves. I haven't got any gloves, and my hands were freezing last year, so that's on my to-do list. Okay, so I just popped a few of my favourite photos from last winter. This is quite a nice multi-period site in the Peak District, loads of industrial activity. You can see the long lead rakes, quite a dramatic hilly landscape as well. And it's quite nice, there's a really nice palisaded enclosure just sort of underlying some of the lead rakes there as well. So this is quite a nice visit. It's a nice day trip. It was lovely. This is a nice one. This is quite close to where I live, actually, and I've driven on this road that goes right through the middle of it. I never knew it was there, and so I decided to fly over there to see some scheduled monuments. So this is a Roman temple camp, as you can see, and I'd spotted one of these in Cropmark form during the summer, so it was really nice to see an earthwork form of the same type of site, something I've not come across before, so that's really nice. And then very close to that, there was this enclosure bank, also in the Yorkshire Dales. And when I was photographing it, I actually thought this was prehistoric, just because of the similarity in condition to the Roman camp, which I'd just photographed. I did a bit of digging when I got back, and it's actually medieval, so it just highlights the sort of the learning process that I'm doing all the time. So anything that's I'm slightly not sure about, I always do a little bit of digging, just to see, because you never know, something surprise you, and I'm always learning lots and lots on this job. And then this is quite a nice one. I think this really highlights the usefulness of winter photography for earthworks. This is a really faint site. This was transitioning back from the Yorkshire Dales quite close to Skipton, if anyone knows where that is. And yeah, this is a nice little Iron Age Roman curvilinear enclosure. Just underlying some ridge and furrow there as well. So I think one thing I've really enjoyed in this job is collaborating with the teams. I think this is probably one of the more intriguing sites I've photographed this year. I've done this to help out some of our colleagues in the landscape survey team. This is a Parrich Rings site. It's in Derbyshire in the Peak District, and it's spread across 2 fields of the site. There's about 170 small ring banks, and they're measured around 6 meters in diameter. I think you can see, yeah, I've put a bit of a zoomed in version, so you can see them. They're really quite small. I think the current interpretation, don't want to spoil too much because they're currently writing a research paper and it is going to come out soon. They've come up with the interpretation that these might be places that they've put beehives as a series of medieval and post-medieval bee gardens. Something I've never heard of before. So, yeah, fascinating. So I'm looking out, I'm really excited for the report to come out. That should be good. And they're using my photos in it as well, so that's quite nice. So I lastly just want to go over my master's that I'm doing alongside. It sort of runs with uni term time, so I get the summer off and I'm busy over the winter period. It's 1 day a week and it's all online, thank God, because I'm not going to South Wales every Wednesday. The course is about 3 years and there's a 6-month endpoint assessment which is conducted by SEPA, where hopefully I'll get an NCEPA status at the end, if I pass it. Fingers crossed. So the degree itself is aimed at people in archaeological specialisms or those wanting to go into an archaeological specialism in professional settings. And there's quite a good range of people on the course. I think we've got some finds experts, there's someone working at isotope analysis, which is really interesting. There's some archive work as well, so there's a real mix of stuff. And my lecturer does underwater archaeology as well, so he sometimes joins the lectures from boats, which is quite fun. So the course itself, it's pretty much gearing us up to be able to do archaeological projects, and all of the assignments have been sort of going through different documentation that you might need throughout a project. So it's going to be really useful, I think, moving forward. And we're doing a lot of other skills as well, so we'll be practicing meeting styles and really useful things like that as well. So it's going to be very useful, I think, down the line. And very lastly, here's me having a very nice day out with the Aerial Survey team down at A3 End on our annual team meeting. Lovely weather as well. We've got lucky, I think. So I really want to just fly the flag for apprenticeships. This has probably been the best thing I've ever done. I think they're amazing at getting different groups of people into archaeology as well. Even like they do lower level ones as well. My friend Chloe, she's done a lower level one, and never got the opportunity to do an archaeological degree. So, you know, it gets a lot of wider group of people into archaeology, which I think is really good. And for me personally, when I came out of university, the job market was incredibly competitive and also incredibly slim. The amount of entry-level jobs that are actually entry-level are next to none. They all want 1 to 2 years experience, which is really difficult if no one's actually going to give you those 1 to 2 years experience. So yeah, and I'm going to get a master's degree in this as well while being paid, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you very much.